So Flywheel is one of the #1 companies I recommend for WordPress hosting, especially for people that are brand new to the self-hosted version of WordPress. I think that Flywheel has amazing support. They answer very quickly. So if you have any questions, even if it's 1 a.m., 3 a.m., they have a support team that works around the clock to help you. So as you can see, 24/7 support. And then also they just have a lot of other great features. It just makes it simple and easy for you to set up your WordPress website and your hosting for that. Also, let me just give you a brief description or brief definition of what hosting does. So hosting is what actually puts your website online. So when people type in your website name in their address bar inside of their internet browser, hosting is what's going to take them to your website and just bring everything up. So this is where your website actually lives online. So what we're going to do now is we're going to go over to the pricing tab so we can take a look at some of the plans. And as you can see, Flywheel, they offer managed WordPress hosting, and you have the option to either choose an annual or a monthly plan. Now, I will tell you this, on annual plans, you do happen to save money. You get up to 2 months free. So instead of paying monthly, which on, for example, the tiny plan, which is $15 per month, 15 times 10, that is what, $150 plus another 30, that will be about $180 per year that you would pay monthly. However, if you were to go ahead and pay annually, you would save about $30 with the tiny plan. So if possible, I always recommend going and saving a few dollars there for the full time and going and choosing one of the tiny plans here. So you just click on get started. But before we do that, let me actually just go over some of these plan details. So the tiny plan is great for small websites just getting started. Now keep in mind, Flywheel does allow you to upgrade your plan at any time. So if the 5,000 monthly visits is not enough, or you need more storage or more bandwidth, then you can always upgrade to a starter plan, freelance, or an agency. So just a brief breakdown of each plan. Like I said, tiny plans are great for brand new websites just getting started. You're probably not going to get a lot of traffic in the beginning, which is perfectly fine. And the 5,000 monthly visits should work out just fine for you. Now, if you think that you are going to get more visits, or you rather be on the safer side, then the starter plan may be ideal for you. It includes 25,000 monthly visits and one WordPress website. So the tiny and starter plans both include one WordPress website. Now, if you think you're going to be creating multiple websites at once, then you have what you call a freelance plan. It will give you up to 10 websites and 100,000 monthly visits. So whichever one you fall in, which category, you can definitely start with tiny, starter, freelance. The agency, if you're taking this course, I don't imagine anyone will be at this agency level, but I have no idea. It's very much possible. But just to get started, I would say either go for a tiny or a starter plan. So once you've decided which plan you want, you can go ahead and click on Get Started. And this page will take you to the sign up so you can create an account. You'll submit your payment information, and then your account will be set up. And then we'll follow the next steps to go ahead and get your hosting and your domain connected to start building your website. One of the first steps you want to take when you're in your Flywheel account is go ahead and click on Create a New Site and ask who will own this site. I'm going to put me. It's going to ask which plan you want to use for this website. So this will be the plan that you just purchased. And then you can enter the website details. So for me, this is going to be the support concierge. You can name this whatever you want this to be. That's totally up to you. Now, you have purchased a domain name, but in the meantime, just so Flywheel can get your website set up, it's going to give you a temporary domain. So I'm going to just go ahead and just, you can use a randomly generated name. You don't have to type anything there. And I actually, for this, we'll actually just go with a randomly generated name because we're going to change this in the future. Okay, and so I'm going to ask, would you like to start with a blueprint, or yours may not ask if you have a blueprint. I do have a previous blueprint in here, but you do not need that. So that's just, it shows me the option, but don't worry about that if it does not show that to you. And next, you want to go ahead and create your WordPress user account. So you want to come up with a username and a password. Now, be sure that you actually type or write your username and password somewhere separately, because you will need this to log into your website in the future. So your username, that can be anything you want that to be, and of course your password as well. Make sure you are using strong passwords. I recommend using a tool like LastPass or 1Password to help you come up with your passwords. So I'm going to go ahead and set up my username and password now. Okay, so I've entered my username and my passwords. So I'm going to click on Create Site. Okay, and so now the Support Concierge, this website is now being created. This does take a few moments to actually go through and be set up. So what you can do is you'll be sent an email once your website is ready, or you can just stay on this page until your new website is created. Okay, so our new website has been created, and right now it has a temporary domain name that we will go ahead and get in there and change that to our domain name that we just purchased. So temporary-island.flywheelsites.com, that is a mouthful, so that's why we definitely want to change that. So what we'll do now is go ahead and add our domain name by clicking this plus icon. Okay, and then you want to put in your domain name without any www or any HTTPS protocols in front of it, just exactly how you, the name itself. So mine is the supportconcierge.co. I'm going to click on primary, and it's going to automatically create a www.thesupportconcierge.co with this. And it's going to ask, have you purchased domain? And you want to click on yes, and then click on next. Okay, so the good news is when you purchase your domain with Google Domains, it makes the process to connect the domain to your website or your hosting a lot easier. All you have to do is log into your Google Domains account. So I'm going to click on log into Google Domains. And it's going to ask if I want to connect my domain to Flywheel. I'm going to click on yes, connect. And that is all done. So I'm going to go back to Flywheel. Awesome. So our domain is now connected to Flywheel. Now the next step is that we also want to point the www version of your domain to Flywheel as well, because right now it's just the support concierge.co. But we also want to make sure www.thesupportconcierge.co also goes to your website. So go ahead and click on point the www. And it's going to take you back over to Google Domains to connect it. Click on yes, connect. And we are going to go back to Flywheel. Awesome. So everything is connected. So we can click on back to site. And so now our domain is now connected. Now this may take a few moments for everything to get in the system and go to it. So if I go to the supportconcierge.co, it may or may not go ahead and go over to the new website. So just give that maybe 10 to 20 minutes before that actually works. In the meantime, what we want to do is go ahead and enable SSL. SSL is what gives you this lock inside your browser search bar here when you have your website pulled up. And this lock icon is just telling visitors that it's safe to be on your website, which is very important. You want people to feel safe when they come visit your website. So we're going to go ahead and start that process to enable the SSL certificate on the website. So let's go ahead and click on Enable SSL. So SSL is free. It's free for Flywheel, and you can choose to put it on both of your domains, the www and without the www version of your domain. And let's click on Complete SSL Setup. Okay, so right now Flywheel is it's installing the SSL on both the www and the without www version of your domain. This takes a few moments. You'll receive an email when everything is set up, and usually by that time the SSL is set up, and also it should be connecting you to the WordPress site once everything is done. And then we'll actually go in and start customizing things within the WordPress website. But at the very most, we have our domain, we have our hosting, and everything is now connected, and we have SSL. So give yourself a pat on the back. We are moving forward.